Here are some answers to the questions from our Ask Me Anything series that didn't get answered. Somebody asked a question about masturbation. Is it a sin? And like every question that I'm going to answer, this one deserves a whole lot more time than I can give it in this video. But I'll just say that depends. I think are theoretically possible situations where it wouldn't be a sin to masturbate, but what the challenge here is those are highly theoretical, and I'm not sure I've actually ever seen people in those circumstances that meet that criteria. It's the issue of lust that goes along with this sexual act that becomes a challenge. You see, Jesus puts it this way in the Sermon on the Mount. Anyone, you've heard it said in the Old Testament, anyone who commits adultery commits a sin. Well, I'm telling you, anyone who looks after a woman or who looks after a man and lusts after them has already committed adultery in the heart. It's a real challenge not to lust after somebody else sexually. Now, here is my one exception. I do believe there are perhaps circumstances within a marriage where a husband and a wife are geographically separated, where they long for one another, they want to be with one another, they even want to please one another, but they're just not able to, and they please themselves with the full knowledge of their spouse, and they please themselves thinking about their spouse. As I look at the full range of the Bible, I'm not sure that a situation like that would be considered a sin in God's eyes. There may be a marriage where somebody becomes physically disabled and literally not able to have the sexual act anymore, but wants to see their spouse fulfilled, and so they help their spouse, or they are, with the full permission of their spouse, allowing them to practice self-pleasure. There may even be a situation where there are prolonged periods of separation and the husband and wife are both fully aware of what's going on. They are thinking about one another during those circumstances. And in situations like this, perhaps it's not a sin. But I can't imagine any other scenario where there isn't the issue of lust along with the act of self-pleasure. So when you're asking about masturbation, it's almost impossible to separate this physical act with the lust of the heart that goes along with it. And Jesus has made it very clear, to lust in your heart is to already commit the act of adultery, which is already a sin in God's eyes. So is it a sin? Perhaps, perhaps not. I think there's very limited possibilities where it's not a sin, but I do want to leave that door open. These are just Jeff's thoughts, and there may be some scholars, pastors, theologians out there that would disagree with me, but you asked the question, and I believe an honest question deserves an honest answer. Thanks.